Cutie Pies, I am Lanikia, and you are watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is the Young and the Restless edition. Today is Tuesday, August the 29th, 2023. On a scale of 1 to 10, to be quite honest with you, excuse me, ma'am, to be quite honest with you, I'll probably give it a 7. I'll give it a 7. It was solid. I actually enjoyed this episode. It sometimes an episode doesn't have to be super exciting to be good. It's just a solid episode, and I thought this was that. All right, let's get into it. First, let me get some people out of the way so we can kind of get to the meat and potatoes of the episode. Um we want to talk about Devon, Tessa, and Mariah. Of course, they're concerned about Arya because of the hearing loss, and so they're talking to Devon. Just he's giving them comfort and just telling them about his experience and his experience with Dominic as well. Wondering if he could possibly pass down his trait. And so they talk to him about that, and then the specialist comes over, and she speaks to to Mariah and Tessa, and Devon was like, "You helped me," and she was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I only work with pediatrics now, but at one point she did help him, and he was very determined, and everything." So it was a nice moment. But Devon ends up leaving, and she does tell Mariah and Tessa that the baby failed the hearing, so it's looking like she's not able to hear, but they're going to get her help that she needs, and not to worry right now. And they know it's hard to tell that she knows it's hard for them not to, but try their best not to worry. Everything is going to turn out fine. They're doing making the best step, which is by getting her the help that she needs, and everything, right? So then from there, we go to Abby and Ashley. Abby and Ashley are talking, and she's telling her, "Listen, I really am done with my whole thing with Jack. I don't want to feud. I don't want to fight. I'm done with it. I just want peace. I want to run my company in peace. I have what I need from Jabot. I have my patents and I have everything that I need. And I just want to move on with my life. That, we don't live there anymore. And the mansion, we're just trying to find a place that suits us, and everything is all good. Like, I'm happy, I'm good, or everything, right?" And it's like, okay. But then Abby is like, "But you wanted to be a Jabot." I said, "Listen, Abby, if the woman says she was not happy, like, if she says she really to let this go and she doesn't want to fight and she doesn't want to do all that with Jabot, being at Jabot and with Jack, and if it's more peaceful, let it be. Stop trying to be like, because you said you've been wanting peace. So if she's cool with moving on from Jabot, let her move on." So then they were talking, and Diane hears Abby and Ashley talking about how they want peace and how she wants to move on. And Diane, of course, she had to say something. So that's what most of this stuff comes out at, when these people are getting into it. It's because somebody overhears something when they walk up on it, and they just have to say something, or they'll see somebody sitting having dinner or somewhere, and they just have to come up and talk to them. It's like, first of all, nobody eats at home on this show. But besides all that, they just have to come up and say something to them. But anyway, so that's that with there. And so we see that Abby meets up with Devon because he says he wants to meet her at the park. And so when he does, he tells her about going to visit Mariah and Tessa, and he just wanted to be around Dominic and Abby, his family. And they're like, "Oh, okay," she gets it. So then they go back over to Mariah's and Tessa's, and they tell them what's going on, and they say that the specialist let them know it wasn't promising news, that she failed the testing, so they're worried. And it's really nice. Abby and Devon brought them over some food and everything, and that's all I'm gonna spend on that, y'all. To be honest, that's all I'm gonna spend on it. So let's move on. So then going back to Diane and Ashley, they're still going at it, and Ashley's like, "Listen, Diane, I'm not trying to fight with you. I'm not trying to do any of this with you. I still don't trust you. I never would trust you. It is what it is. Let's just move on." And Diane was like, "Oh, I want Jack to be happy, and I know his family makes him happy, and I'm not here to do anything wrong. I know y'all keep thinking that, but I'm not." So Ashley, trying to prove her point to Diane that she could care, does not care. And what does she do? She pops a grape into her mouth, and child, the girl starts choking. Said, Ashley. Ashley starts choking. And so when she starts choking, Diana, of course, jumps into action and she saves her. And Ashley was like, oh my gosh, you saved my life. And she was like, girl, it wasn't that dramatic. She said, no, you saved my life. I could have died. Right. And so then from there we go over to the Abbott mansion and we see Jack and Tucker talking, right? I'm not Jack and Tucker, Jack and Billy talking, right? And he's just telling him, he hasn't heard anything else from Ashley and Tucker about any kind of takeover. So maybe they're not trying to do it. And they said it's been quiet. And he says, well, you never know. I wouldn't bet on it. This is Jack. And then Tucker comes in and Jack said, didn't I tell you to give my house key back? He said, I am, but we still got a few things. And Ashley has somebody coming over later in the week to give the key to get the rest of our things, and then you'll get the key returned. So then we see that Tucker starts messing with Jack and Billy, and he starts saying, the whole time we all thought it was Diane that was gonna bring y'all down. Diane was gonna take over the company, and she was gonna get it from you and wrestle it down and crash and burn your boat. But it actually was somebody completely different. Jack said, "What you talking about?" He said, "I'm talking about Billy." He said when we offered him that deal to be CEO of Jabot, Billy, he liked it a little bit. He's like, he was feeling it. And he said, and that hatred for Diane that he was putting on, that wasn't all fake. Yeah, I don't think he likes Diane as much as he claims to. Or he's as happy for you and Diane as much as he claims that he is, he said. But, and so, of course, they're like, oh gosh, Tucker, whatever. We don't you like you're just trying to cause problems between us and we're not here for it. Move on and all that, right? And so Tucker was like, okay, I'm not gonna hold y'all long on that. He was like, okay, I'm just saying. Billy, his eyes lit up when at the thought of running that company by himself and everything. And so then we see that Tucker leaves. He goes upstairs because he came to just get a few personal items and stuff. And when that happens, um, Billy Billy is Jack says, "Oh, Tucker, he's one like sly fox." I'm just paraphrasing now, but he does say, he could he makes a good case or whatever. And Billy is like, "Excuse me? What you mean he makes a good case?" He said, "No, Billy, don't take it that way. I was just saying he makes a good case that, that it would have been tempting to take on the family company for you maybe and everything." And Jack trying to back up out of what he said, but he having a hard time backing up out of it because Billy is just like, no, I don't understand what you mean by that. Like, explain yourself to me because um I've always been on y'all's team. I've always all I was doing was acting. So, but your first instinct is to not trust me, Jack. You'll never trust me. And so Billy gets in his feelings about that or whatever, and Jack tries to be like, "No, Billy, this is what Tucker wants. He wants to divide us or what, and I'm sure this is their plan all along to try to divide us and cause tension between us." But Billy's feelings are hurt, and he's just like, you know what, I'm out of here because no matter what I say, no matter what I do, you will always think of me as the screw up, and that I want the company back to redeem myself and all that. So Billy was like, I'm gone. So after he leaves, sorry. So after he ends up leaving, Tucker comes down, and Jack he is hot with Tucker, right? So he tells Tucker, "You did this. You're trying to cause tension between Billy and I and all that, but it's not gonna work. And you will never be a part of this family." Because he was like, "I just want the best for the family," and Jack is like, "You will never be a part of this family, no matter." Who you marry, what you do, you will never be a part of our family. So you can save all that and whatever your game you're trying to play, it's not going to work and everything. And Tucker says, "Listen, I was just trying to tell you about Billy. He said, at the end of the day, you were worried about Ashley and Aaron, everything, but it's really Billy you need to be worried about. He's the one who's trying to take your company, because he was a little too excited at the thought of being the CEO of Jabot. He was a little excited about that. And then Jack tells Tucker, that if he doesn't accept him, but he came to his wedding and he tried to make peace. But if he hurts Ashley or he does anything, he'll have to deal with him. And Tucker said, "Listen, I know I'm easygoing and I'm lighthearted, and I don't let stuff get to me, because Tucker's just a playful type of guy. Even when he's upset, he'll get upset and then he'll get over it or whatever. But he says, don't cross me." He told him, "You don't want to cross me, Jack." And Jack eyes got a little big, and then Tucker walked out. I said, "Uh-oh." Because Jack was threatening Tucker, and Tucker, because he was like, if you do anything, I will take you down. That's not a threat, that's a promise." And Tucker said, "Don't cross me. Don't make me mad. So go on about your business with it." And then Tucker walked out, and Jack's just standing there. I said, "Leave Tucker alone, Jack. Leave him alone." So then we go over here to Ashley and Diane, and of course, Ashley is just like, "You saved my life. Oh my God, you saved my life." And she tells her, it's not. She tells her it's not that big a deal. I did what anyone would do. And she said, "You need to go to the ER." She's like, "No, no." And so she takes her home, right? Because they're still at the athletic club. And so when Diane takes her home, they run into Tucker, and he said, "What y'all doing together?" And they said, she was like, "Ashley, I feels like she needs to go to the hospital." And Ashley was like, "No, I don't, Diane, but thank you so much for, helping me." And so they get up to the room, and Tucker was like, "What was that about?" She said, "I was trying to tell Diane off." He said, "Of course." She said, "And I messed around and popped a grape and throat." I don't know why. I don't know why when she said that was funny to me, but it was. It was funny. It was, y'all. It was so funny how she said that, and the way Tucker laughed. He was just like, "You okay?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." But she was a little bit embarrassed, as you should be, girl. You trying to be all sassy. You about to choke yourself. Anyways. John. So she tells him, it makes me see Diane kind of differently or whatever. I said, okay. So then we go to Jack and Diane, and she says, "Oh my gosh," because he's like, "What's going on?" She come home. She said, "Ashley could have died. She could have ended." He was like, So I guess we're gonna see her explain that to him. And then Jack tries to call Billy and apologize again. Billy sees the message. He's in Neil's lounge. He's Y'all, I love Neil's Lounge. I like the mood of it. It looks like relaxing. Like you could just go there and have a drink and just chill. Like alcoholic, non-alcoholic, it doesn't matter. You could just go there and chill out. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's what they end up doing. And that's what ends up doing. And he sees that Jack is calling. He says, "No, thank you." And he deletes it. So, y'all, that was the Young and the Restless today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for an all new episode of What Happened on the Soaps, Young and the Restless edition. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.